I'm a health coach, and one of the questions I ask, so I run workshops on health, right? And when I usually start my workshop, I ask, what's the most important meal of the day? Anybody know what the most important meal is? Breakfast! Brilliant. Breakfast, right? Unanimously. Brilliant. All right. That's usually the answer I get. Why?
To fuel your body for the day?
To fuel your body for the day. What do you think, mate?
I think it's just you start off with the right things in the morning.
Exactly.
Porridge is good. I mean, I always have porridge. And
porridge, yeah.
That's it.
I grew up on porridge. You know, I used to put in the porridge overnight. I put it in the fridge, and then in the morning I'd cook it, and then put nuts, seeds, all kinds of stuff in there. You know, and that'll be my porridge. Yeah, and you know, Marmite, things like that. Do you know, like obviously. No, that makes sense. That is a logical answer you're giving. But do you want to know the real reason why breakfast is the most important meal of the day? The real reason for why breakfast is the most important meal of the day is because there's a guy in the Victorian era. He was a pastor in the church, and his name was Mr. Kellogg's. Mr. Kellogg's invented Kellogg's cornflakes as a breakfast cereal, and he needed to sell these things. So he had a massive marketing campaign called breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Do you know why cornflakes were invented?
No.
Well, in the Victorian era, one of the biggest things these pastors worried about was people having too much sex or masturbating too much. Seen as a sin in those days, right? So that's a bad thing because you used to sin against God. And so he invented a food which lowered your sex drive. So it was marketed, you can Google this, and you see the billboards with the slogan, Kellogg's cornflakes, anti-masturbation food. I'm kidding you. And for men, it does exactly that. It will reduce your sex drive. Do you know how it reduces your sex drive? It damages your internal organs. And one of the things when you damage your internal organs happens is your sex drive goes down. So there we have it. I'm a massive fan of, well, I used to be before I was a health coach. I was a massive fan of cornflakes, Weetabix, porridge, granola, usually Special K, you know, I had the whole lot, right? Every morning I would have that. And that, if you do that, will eventually put you in hospital. It causes something called metabolic diseases. I don't know if you've heard of that. Metabolic diseases like diabetes is a metabolic disease, heart disease, that's also one of them, high blood pressure, Alzheimer's, there's a couple of others, but those are the main ones. Yeah. So basically, your metabolic system gets damaged over decades. So if you keep eating, because all these cereals, when I first started learning, I was like, yeah, but I gotta have my breakfast, right? I want my cereals, right? I want, something healthy. I looked at all of them. In all the supermarkets, everywhere, there is no such thing as a healthy cereal. Just couldn't find a single, not even Weetabix. So I basically cut out, because I needed to heal breakfast. So, so cereals, incredibly bad for you, like really bad for you. They will damage you. And so do you know what is the best breakfast in the world?
Fruit? Yogurt.
Pretty good. I'll tell you the best breakfast in the world. It's called water. Because it depends, it's how your body works. So our bodies, we've evolved over years, and our bodies have evolved that when you go to sleep, when your digestive system shuts down, your body goes into this mode, switches, cracks, and it goes into healing, repairing, and cleaning itself, and reversing your age, reversing diseases, and all that kind of stuff. All of these things are built into the body, but the body can only activate all these mechanisms when your body goes into ketosis, hence the keto diet. So the ketosis, I'm sure you guys have heard, fasting is really good for you. But do you know why fasting is good for you? Fasting is good for you because fasting switches on ketosis. And as soon as you switch ketosis on in the body goes into this massive healing crisis. It will just literally start putting you together. It'll reverse ages. So like the Russians, about 100 years ago, they did a lot of experiments on fasting because our body is a living machine. Whatever you don't use, it shrinks it. So hence, like if you never run and you go for a long run, you know, the next day you're aching and you're falling apart, you know, that's because your body's just not conditioned for it. And so if you want to run a marathon, you slowly build yourself up. Fasting's the same. You build yourself up. So when I get a client, I build them up slowly. So I get them find out what's the longest they've gone on without food. Maybe it's 6 hours, right? So I go, okay, well, let's work on 8 hours. We get them to 10 hours. Then we get them to 12. It's 14, 16, 18. And once you get them to 16, 18 hours, their bodies have adjusted. And now they can do 20-hour fast, 30-hour fast, 40-hour easy. Because now their body's conditioned, you know, it's just like you've been conditioned to run. And so the healthiest breakfast is water, literally, that's it. Maybe put a bit of lemon in it, but that's about it. And basically, your body goes into this healing mode while you're sleeping. And when you wake up, that healing continues until you have your first calories. So black coffee's fine, and also herbal teas are fine, you know, black tea. And as long as there are calories in it. It's the calories that trigger the digestive system to come to life. And it's a big complex machinery, the digestive system. And once it starts up, it's like, I'm up, right, you started me out, feed me. And so it will then send signals to the brain going, where's the food, where's the food? And so when you have a breakfast, you'll find you'll feel hungry again quite quickly because now your system's running. But if you don't eat breakfast, you probably noticed, you don't actually feel hungry because as long as the digestive system stays shut down, you won't feel hungry. There's no need to because there's nothing to feed until you start out.